Stars don't always make the best relationship choices. It's hard to imagine how people with the world at their fingertips and their choice of suitors and beauties would fall in love with criminals or creeps. But these celebs all shacked up with characters who were allegedly really sketchy. Some stars were warned, but apparently still blinded by love. Others got out of their doomed relationships relatively unharmed. But tragically, some didn't make it out at all. From Oscar darling Sandra Bullock to musician Cyrus and reality star Courtney Stodden, men and women from across the entertainment industry have allegedly been victimized, bamboozled, or simply mistreated by the folks they loved. Let's take a closer look at some stars with really sketchy significant others. Brittany Murphy's tragic marriage. Actress Brittany Murphy met screenwriter Simon Monjack when she was 13, according to People. Their paths reportedly crossed again at her 28th birthday party, and a year later, they got married. The Hollywood Reporter noted that when they met, Monjack was broke and embroiled in several lawsuits. Director George Hickenlooper told the New York Daily News that he tried to warn Murphy about Monjack, and sources also told THR that Monjack allegedly created a web of paranoia around Brittany and used it to separate her from anyone who might have challenged his dominance.
I always have believed if you can't change your surroundings, change your hair color.
When a 32-year-old Murphy fell ill and died suddenly in December 2009, THR reported Monjack was convinced she had literally died of a broken heart caused by the shoddy way she had been treated in Hollywood. Monjack died 5 months later, at age 40, in an eerily similar fashion. After his death, TMZ revealed he had 2 secret love children, whose mothers were demanding child support, and he had wired huge sums of money to various entities. Cyrus's lying girlfriend. Before dating Home Alone star Macaulay Culkin, former Disney starlet Brenda Song had a roller coaster relationship with a different star. Years of relationship drama between Song and Metro Station frontman Cyrus, who's also the brother of Miley Cyrus, came to a head in 2015 on social media. Song wrote in a since-deleted Instagram, "A few years ago, there were rumors that I was pregnant and/or had a miscarriage. I just want to say that those rumors were not true. I apologize for not clearing this up sooner and for the continual damage that these lies have caused Cyrus." But it gets worse. Trace reportedly commented on her apologetic post, writing, "Yes, they were lies that you made up and told me, my entire family, and all our friends." Yikes. Courtney Stodden's arranged marriage.
What was your big break?
My big break. My 52-year-old husband.
At a time when most parents are still signing field trip permission slips for their kids, Courtney Stodden's mom, Krista, gave her 16-year-old daughter written permission to marry 51-year-old actor Doug Hutchison in 2011.
There was nothing illegal or immoral about it. It was just that we found ourselves falling for each other
and flying on the wings of love together.
In fact, the actor said Mama Stodden was the one that suggested the arrangement, telling ABC News, "It was Krista who said, you know, you guys could get married if you want. There are ways to do that. There are certain states." But Krista later second-guessed her blessing. She told Radar Online in 2015, "I do take full responsibility, however, because I am the one that did sign the paper for her to marry this man. If I had to do it all over again, I cannot tell you if I would be signing that paper." Courtney apparently had mixed feelings about the shocking age gap, too. She told The Sun in 2016, "It's mind-boggling to me that we were able to do it, that my mom would sign a bit of paper to let me marry a 50-year-old. Courtney blamed her mother's own attraction to Doug for the pairing, revealing on Lifetime in 2016,
I feel like these boundaries have been crossed so much. Doug isn't the only guy you've been emotionally attached to.
In March 2018, after 7 years of marriage, People reported that a 23-year-old Courtney filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences and requesting Hutchison not receive spousal support. Lea Michele's male gigolo? When her former flame Corey Monteith died of a fatal mix of heroin and alcohol in 2013, Lea Michele mended her heart with the hunky Matthew Pates in 2014. But his alter ego may have gotten in the way. TMZ reported that Pates was a former male companion for Cowboys for Angels, a site that was featured on the Showtime series Gigolos. Pates, who operated under the name Christian, described himself as a massage therapist and life and dating coach, charging upwards of $17,000 for a week of togetherness. An insider told E! News, Lea wanted to believe in love and wanted to believe the good in him. She didn't think he should be punished for his past. It seems Michele believed a little too hard because she was allegedly blindsided when Pates took off in 2016, according to Us Weekly. A source told E! News that Michele got no reason or explanation for the split and that Pates wouldn't even talk to her. Ronda Rousey's professional fighter. Although she generally keeps a relationship with husband and UFC fighter Travis Browne under wraps, Ronda Rousey's marriage is not without controversy. Browne's estranged wife, fitness model Jenna Lee Webb, accused him of spousal abuse, even posting photos of her alleged injuries on Instagram and Twitter with warnings for Rousey. Browne was suspended by the UFC while a law firm investigated the claims, but the organization reported the evidence was inconclusive.
It was hard to listen to see what people were saying about me. But at the same time, I know what I did and what I didn't do.
Rousey tearfully addressed the abuse claims, telling ESPN in 2015, "It's hard. It's really hard. I'm very anti-domestic violence, but I know that he didn't do anything. Now I'm put in a situation where I'm finally happy with somebody that respects me and cares about me. And I'm like, what do I do?" The pair tied the knot in August 2017, so whatever Browne's issues may have been, they weren't enough to change Rousey's mind.
You're about to celebrate a year anniversary of marriage, right?
Congrats! Best year of my life.
Phaedra Parks' racketeering husband. When the Real Housewives of Atlanta star Phaedra Parks married Apollo Nida, he had just finished a 5-year prison sentence for racketeering. When his wife joined the Bravo franchise, the AP reported that Nida claimed Parks was making far more money than he was and that he felt pressure to keep up. According to the AP, Nida reportedly reverted to his criminal ways to make a buck. He later pleaded guilty to mail, wire, and bank fraud and was sentenced to 8 years in prison and ordered to pay $1.9 million in restitution, according to Page 6.
I filed for a divorce last year, and it has been a long, drawn-out process because, Apollo has not wanted to get the divorce.
But when Nida and Parks finally divorced in 2017, she made it abundantly clear that she was ready to move on, telling Us Weekly, "Apollo and I started dating in high school, and now I'm in my early 40s. So it was time to go. That's almost a lifetime. Thank God it's over, but thank God it happened because we have 2 beautiful kids."
At the end of the day, it's my fault. I made a decision to do what I did. I gotta lay in the bed that I made.
Sandra Bullock's super bad boy. While Oscar winner Sandra Bullock and Jesse James were dating in 2004, the American Chopper star posed as Hitler in Nazi regalia. Sources told Us Weekly that the reality star was not actually a neo-Nazi, just a, quote, history buff. But more controversy followed in 2007 when James was accused of selling motorcycles that violated California's clean air laws. People reported he was fined over $271,000 by the California Air Resources Board. However, it was the revelation in 2010 that James cheated on Bullock with a slew of women that prompted Bullock to file for divorce, according to Us Weekly. James rebounded with renowned tattoo artist Kat Von D, but his old habits died really hard. The two were on again, off again until calling it quits for good in 2011. According to People, James allegedly cheated on Von D with a whopping 19 women. Mariah Carey's former slimeballs. Superstar songstress Mariah Carey was just 18 years old when she got together with her much older manager and Sony music boss, Tommy Mottola. According to Entertainment Weekly, she later described their 1993 marriage as oppressive and referred to the prison-like home they shared as Sing Sing. And according to Mottola's 2013 memoir Hitmaker, The Man and His Music, he didn't necessarily disagree. He wrote, "If it seemed like I was controlling, let me apologize again. Was I obsessive? Yes. But that was also part of the reason for her success." Mottola claims he made Carey a star, and after their divorce, he thought he could take it all away too. According to XXL, Mottola allegedly instructed record executive Irv Gotti to make a record for Jennifer Lopez that sounded exactly like one Gotti's company had made with Carey for her movie Glitter, even though Glitter was not finished and Lopez would beat Carey to the punch. Sources claimed Mottola was quietly looking at footage of Glitter while his ex-wife was shooting it. Then in 2016, Carey became engaged to billionaire James Packer, who may be doing some shady dealings of his own. After their breakup, the Sydney Morning Herald reported that Packer was being investigated for possibly giving gifts to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. When asked about the controversy, Carey quipped,
"They couldn't find her.
Is it?